Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to the March meeting of the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission. Scott, if you would please take roll.
Norman Cusick,
Here.
Cole Reen,
Here.
Walker Henson,
Here.
Michael O'Brien,
Here.
David Trojan, Brian Henry,
Here.
Greg Hobb,
Here.
Donald Roberts,
Here.
Clarence Maley,
Here.
Scott Orr.
Here.
We have a quorum, so I hereby call this meeting to order. And the first item, or the second item on the agenda is to consider approval of the minutes of the February 26, 2024 MAPC meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to hold a public hearing and consider a request to close to the public a portion of West Park Avenue located between South Grand Avenue and South Independence Avenue, more particularly described in Exhibit A, retaining a 20-foot utility easement, and make a recommendation to the Mayor and Board of Commissioners.
Good evening, Chairman. This is a public hearing to close the right-of-way between Independence and Grand on Park. So this is all right. So this is the existing street, Park Avenue between Independence and Grand. Currently, it is blocked for projects and stuff like that. So for the future, it's going to be closed for any events. And this is for this project, city has the master plan for the overall. This street needs to be closed for the master plan. So we are presenting it to ahead of the project. If you have any questions.
Okay.
This site is where the Christmas tree celebration has been for several years in a row. And there's been a request to not tear up that pad that they put down for future celebrations. So as we looked at it and looked at what the master plan is for the future, we're moving forward towards closing that street, and this is one of the first steps.
Any protests at all?
We haven't heard that.
And the city has a fair amount of money in that area, don't they?
The city has invested, yes, in sidewalks and a portion of the street. And Mr. Williams and some donors have also got quite a bit invested in some poles and now a pad.
Gerald?
Yes.
It's not representative on this small photograph on the packet, but on the picture, the square that's there, is that a temporary pad now?
It was, honestly, it was built from our perspective to be temporary, but for what it does, supporting the Christmas tree, the new artificial tree, it does very well. It was, I don't believe it was built with footings and things like that, but it was very expensive, and the ask is to not make them tear it out. And so really what we need to look at is closing it if we're going to do that, and that is in accordance with our downtown redevelopment long-range plan.
So that pad is fine moving forward. You don't have to.
I think it is for the tree.
It doesn't matter on this decision. I was just curious.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be for building a building. We would probably have a problem since we didn't see footings and stuff. But for what it's used for, the celebration, I think it's fine. And I think it will probably, this is me, it'll probably last a long time. The engineers will tell you it'll last a long time too, and it'll take a lot of money, and who knows how long to replace it, so.
Chair, move to approve. Second.
I had 2 seconds.
Dick his.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that motion carries.
Thank you.
Now we have a use by review to hold a public hearing and consider action on a use by review application submitted by Jeff and Kelly Gwynn, requesting to utilize the property, at 1402 West York Avenue, zoned R2 residential, Single Family District, more particularly described as Lot 7, Block 4, Hohen's Second Edition, as a private clubhouse.
As you can see on the drawing, the property that we're looking at, if I can get this turned around right, is property right. I'm not used to this one. Why am I not getting the circle?
It's the big button.
The big button?
The top one.
There we go. That property is 1402 West York Avenue. It's owned by Jeff and Kelly Gwynn, and you can see the adjacent property across the street is their primary residence. There's actually address 1420 Indian Drive, but it's across the street from this property. One of the uses under this zoning uses review is that for a private clubhouse, and they have made an application for this under R2. And I put in the agenda report the things that the planning commission is to consider in approval of a use by review. We had some inquiries in the codes department after we posted the property, mainly asking about traffic and parking, but nobody actually filed any protest or complaint. They were more inquiry in nature. They talked to one of our code enforcement officers. They didn't even bother, or didn't ask to speak to me or ask to file a formal complaint or anything. And we made them aware of tonight's meeting if they had any concerns. So in my mind, all we've received to date is just inquiries or questions about it. And the owner is here if you would like to hear from them. And I put a picture of the development to date. He has stopped work until after this meeting and received a building permit for this, but this is, you can kind of see the concept there and the caliber of the construction to date. I'd be glad to address any questions. And I'm sure the owner would be glad to address questions that you might have as well.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, any questions for either Leroy or the Gwynns?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in...
Question?
Oh,
Sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
well, we'll stop and let you get the question in.
Yep. Cole went pretty quick, so that's fine. It's described here as a basketball, comma, shuffleboard, comma, pickleboard, comma, et cetera.
I think it would be better for the property owner to explain what they meant by that definition.
Sir.
Please, as you step up, do me a favor, give your name because it
certainly,
is recorded.
Jeffrey Gwynn,
Okay, thank you, sir.
1420 Indian Drive,
Okay.
and I brought the entire membership of the club here.
Okay.
The intention is pretty well, we do all these things in our driveway, currently right across the street, and problem is hedges and brick pillars and cars, et cetera. So we've had this lot for 6 years, we've maintained it, we've watered it, mowed it, cleaned it, et cetera. No interest from anyone on purchasing it. Neighbors have started parking there, walking their dogs there, et cetera. So we wanted to solve two problems. One is to be able to move the activities from our driveway, which is playing basketball or playing pickleball, et cetera, just standard driveway activities, and also to stop the parking and the dog walking. And And to also just, you can see the fence posts there. Our intent is to put a wrought iron fence there with Taylor spruces, just like we have across the street, so it'd be somewhat uniform and matching. And we'll also line the perimeter with that as well for privacy for the neighbors and any noise mitigation that we could possibly do, so. Does that answer the question, or did that dance around the question?
No, that's fine. I mean, I know where your home is, and it's immaculate. I compliment you on the house. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
It's a fantastic property. So, again, sport court.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
That'd be the
is it
quick
just,
way.
I mean, are you having tournaments there, or are you just your
Well,
family, or
Tournaments with
friends,
friends, yes. sir.
neighbors?
Yeah.
The,
And that pad you see there is all, there's no clubhouse. There's a pergola for shade,
Mm-hmm.
and then that shed is for controls of the irrigation system, et cetera.
and I would have, I understand how you worded that it's nothing that you don't do in your own driveway. I mean, we can play basketball in our driveway, but, I mean, would you anticipate the hours getting out of hand, like,
No, we're fairly private people with a fairly limited friend group. Not by design, but just by the way our personalities are.
And the folks that would come and play on the sport court would not drive there, they would not have to park on that street?
No more than they are now, and as a matter of fact, they park on the street when they come to our house anyway to hang out in the pool. They'll be parking in our driveway now, so it'd probably be better on parking.
Where the steel posts are, if you're where I'm looking, what direction am I looking there?
You are looking north. Yes, sir.
So and just south is where your house and the pool and the
Correct.
nice
Yes, sir.
trees and everything are? Is, if you would move next year, what would happen to this?
Well, if we moved next year, we would probably sell it as part and parcel of the property we have is fairly unique, as you know. It's going to be a struggle to sell it if we did move. But if it became a problem, we jackhammer the court and return it right back to where it was, an empty lot with cars on it and dogs.
That generate any other questions?
Thank you, Cole.
Any other questions? I have a standing motion and a second. If there's no other questions, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Those opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And with that being said, the last item is to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Motion and second has been made to adjourn. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Those opposed? We are adjourned.